Good morning. Today we have read Acts chapter 8, verses 5 through 13. And yesterday's reading showed us the persecution that had begun immediately following the death of Stephen. And as this happened, Saul, who was ravaging the church at the time, going after believers from house to house, he had intended to stop the spread of the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And his intent was to squash any growth or advancement of Christianity. However, as many have said over the years, two things are sure to spread the gospel and spread God's kingdom and make it flourish. And those two things are poverty and persecution. And with this wave of persecution, we see the scattering of believers and the spread of the gospel. And in these verses, Philip goes to Samaria and is proclaiming the good news. And we've spoken a lot about how Jews despised the Samaritans and treated them poorly. But now Philip is sharing with them the best news possible, salvation from their sins by the blood of Jesus. And this also fulfills the words of Christ himself in Acts 1 when Jesus states that they will be witnesses for him in Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, and to the uttermost parts of the world. And the people there in Samaria listened in one accord, meaning that there was a collective listening and response to what Philip was saying and what he was doing. Unclean spirits were being cast out among them, and people were healed so much that there was much joy in that city. So Philip was ministering in a great way. And that's what the good news of the gospel does. It spreads and leaves healing, joy, and freedom in its wake. Imagine a pandemic of healing instead of sickness, where the virus overwhelms the body with nourishment and medicine and treatment for what's broken within, bringing strength and restoration instead of weakness. And that's the kingdom advancing effect of the gospel when it is proclaimed, even in the midst of persecution, to those who are suffering. And a magician in the city is mentioned, named Simon, who believed. And in these verses, we learned that he made a great name for himself and proclaimed himself as great initially. And then he is amazed at what's going on. The people are being changed by the power of God. And he's witnessing this. And he probably himself had fame and good living and great standing with the people of just being a celebrity. But when he saw this, how people were healed and baptized, it says that even Simon believed, and he continued on with Philip. He was amazed at what he had saw, the signs and miracles that were being done in the name of Christ. And it seems as if Simon's heart had been changed and pure and now really wanted to follow Christ. But was it really? We're going to hear more about him in the coming verses, so make sure you join us next time to find out more about Simon and his situation. But in the meantime, let's share the good news of Christ like Philip, even to those who our culture may look down upon or treat poorly or push to the side. Let's make sure we pay special attention to those people and share with them the light of the gospel so that it might brighten their life and show them the way to follow God by receiving the good news of Jesus Christ and being forgiven of their sins. So with that spirit, the spirit of Philip going and proclaiming the gospel, let's go today and in the coming days and share the good news and watch what happens in the wake of that behind us as we share and press forward and be a light in our communities and in our families and wherever we find ourselves. We're going to look back in the wake of that and see joy and freedom for people who will receive it and embrace the gospel, just like Philip saw when he was doing these amazing things in the midst of the Samaritans. So in that spirit, let's go today. We're grateful that you have watched and joined with us. We'll see you next time.